Also, I think you're lucky. Okay,
All
nice,
right,
nice.
but yeah, I don't know if it resumed, but if not, but we're just back. So we're taking a look at the DXY, right? Not too much really just going on in my opinion. If we look at the 1 hour chart, you know, this was NFP last week. We had this major push up followed by this major push back down. Markets closed somewhere around here. Markets opened up with a gap. It kind of retraced this movement, that happened, but like and now we see it closing right back below. So like more bearish than bullish in my opinion, Kailash, but like not like the
Yeah.
most confirming like bearish thing yet. What do you think about that?
No, I agree. Like, it's in that zone, right? Like, yeah, like it's still technically a higher low if you zoom out to the time frames, but it's like
I'm not
the
sure if you
higher
could
high.
can you
Yeah.
see my screen?
Yes, yeah, I can see it right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Are you talking about like
Yeah,
this low
exactly.
right here?
Compared to that, like pivot right there, we're still technically higher.
Yeah.
So
And,
I'm thinking like we can be like a little bit more patient to see if that low breaks.
and then
And
there's also
yeah,
okay, now finish.
oh yeah, I'll just say one thing, like the higher high, right? It's
Mhm.
lacking follow through. So like we moved higher, but like for like, a few hours basically, a couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, we still need to just keep in mind that like, it did come up to this weekly resistance over here, right? And now
Yeah.
we are seeing this, this rejection. And like to me, if the weekly candle closed right now, and this is how I was looking at it, to me this is a bearish chart, major wick on the weekly chart followed by like good bearish candle closures. So like if the markets was to close right now and this is how it closed, to me this would be bearish, right? Until further notice. But uh we have we have this CPI PPI news coming out tomorrow. And what do you think about this news? What do you know about this?
So I see it as just like I kind of couple it in with inflation, right? So if the number's hot, then that just means inflation is still happening, prices are still moving higher, and then that's going to put pressure. They're going to want to increase the interest rates.
Mhm.
So you don't want the number to be like high, basically, greater than expected. Yeah.
So like in the meantime, that's pretty much how I see things. But like until that news comes out tomorrow, I'm like bearish on the dollar till further notice. But like that bearishness to me, like will really just like can last till like down here. But that's still it's almost there, but right, but not like exactly all the way there. But in my opinion, I do see the dollar at least coming to this 105.66 area, and then from there, like would just have to see what happens. Uh, I've taken some small losses this morning, not this trade, but on GBP USD when price pulled back over here, I took a short, but this big bullish candle knocked me out. So really we just have to see what's gonna happen, right? It's right up here in this resistance area, but on the weekly chart, right? It's hit this support, and that's kind of like what I'm noticing with like a lot of these charts, right? They're 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 right at these support or resistance levels. So like what's gonna happen to them is pretty interesting. But it makes sense like why things aren't just trending continuously all the time, right? A lot of just like indecision in my opinion. So I'm taking some small losses. The only current trade that I'm in, last time I looked at it, it looks like I was gonna get stopped out. Uh, we see that gold, has kind of been pushing up from this weekly this weekly support down here, right? So all I was basically just looking at was after it made this new high, was just looking at if it can catch this support, right? We have this small resistance right here that's looking like it could be potential support. So I'm just looking to see if this gold can go up higher to this next level of resistance. So that's the only trade I'm in. It's looking like I'm potentially about to get stopped out, but yeah, that's it for me pretty much. Looking at my FTMO account, going kind of down, right? Was up about 5.5%. Now just a little bit under 3%. So that's how it's going for me. Just gotta be more patient. Just waiting for that news tomorrow. But Kailash, man, you want to go ahead and share your screen?
Sure, sure, yeah.
Show us what you're looking at. Are you trading
Let's see.
anything at the moment?
At the moment, no. I was in a position. I made like small gains today, like $20 basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I was just trading like the open for the Nasdaq, and
Are you able to share your screen?
yeah, let me see. I think I'm sharing it right now. I don't know if you can see.
Yes. Yeah, we
Okay,
can.
yeah, yeah. I was based. Sometimes I have to like I want to hedge my position,
Mm-hmm.
so I kind of just hedged it at the wrong time. So I was kind of break even while the market started moving higher. So I kind of just had to do nothing. But pretty much flat. I can even show my FTMO. Very choppy, but I'm recovering back to
No, nice recovery.
nice, nice. Yeah.
What does your that consistency score say?
Oh
That's
yeah, let me
something
see.
yeah, so I believe if that consistency score is pretty high,
Yeah,
then overall could like you will be profitable.
nice.
Yeah, that's how I feel about that. So like
Yeah, it's definitely good.
I feel like the best like profitable traders like is literally like a mountain, like high peaks,
Yeah,
maybe sometimes dips, but like slow little like fall offs followed by high peaks again. And then like slow little
yeah.
dips followed by high peaks. So
Completely
yeah,
agree. And it's like sometimes when you're climbing that mountain and you get tired, you have to like kind of pause and you can even just take a rest, right? And just sit at
mhm,
like a point and just wait it out.
yeah,
If you're
literally,
uncertain, like you're uncertain about the conditions, like the weather might be a little bit too much, or even if you're not feeling well, you kind of
mhm,
just sit out and wait until things become more clear. I completely agree with that analogy. I think it's really good. And another thing too with the dollar and the euro especially, one thing I like about it was when you were showing that chart. I can even just get like a plain chart. Um, I like how kind of swept the lows, right? So this low right here, I really like how we broke, we kind of swept it, and now we're above it. So it's like anybody who was holding positions, they may have been stopped out. So that's a good kind of like clue, I guess. And with the dollar, I agree. We're at that point where, in my opinion, though, to be bullish above the dollar, you have to get above that. I guess it's the high of September, and we really did kind of pause at that area where we were going sideways. And technically,
mhm,
we are breaking down, but in my opinion, I think the buyers of the dollar, they they are still in complete control almost. Like they're still in very good control as long as you're above this area. And the way I look at it is just here. That's how I measure the balance of that area. As long as we're just continuing to go sideways higher, I think there's potential if we see a break down below this low and we're able to recover it, there's potential for balance, like continued balance, like continued sideways.
okay,
So what I
I
want to
agree.
see as a seller, I want to see a
Mm,
breakdown. Like I think you pointed out too. You want to see it, do the retest and then break lower.
yeah,
That would be the real test, like the real proof
mhm,
of the Bears are in control.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the trickiness of the dollar right now is like causing a lot of I feel like I'm not gonna say the purpose, but like it's necessary, right, for people to buy it this way, sell it this way, and now it's like like unfortunately, but like a lot of money being lost this way, then a lot of money being lost this way before. And like it hasn't told us what it's doing yet, but even me, I fall victim to it, like trying to trade it, in the way, like, yes, I want to buy it, but it hasn't shown me that it's time to continue the buy, but still trading it that way. And this
Oh
is
yeah,
like
yeah,
like this is that gray area when like a lot of money just gets lost both ways. So
exactly.
try,
Yep.
yeah, taking small trades though, but taking some losses in this little gray period of the dollar and dollar negative pairs.
One thing I like to do, because I've dealt with the exact same thing that you're saying, um, because it's like it was working, right? That buying
Hmm.
the dollar, it was working
Yeah.
really well until we kind of had that little bit of like a pause. We're pausing right now. What
Hmm.
I like to do is just the dollar sellers, they're in control on the short term. So if you go on the 4 hour, they're in control, right? They're setting lower highs, they're making lower lows. They're not extremely strong, but what I'm thinking is just let them do their job. Like let them tire out. As a buyer, you can tell they're tired out when they start going flat. If we see tomorrow they get lower, as a buyer, I would just wait it out. I wouldn't even try to buy this dollar. But if you kind of see them flatten out and go sideways, I would try to like set up those long entries. That's a short, I think. Yeah, right here. And just try to like work off. Like I want to see them flatten out first. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. But tomorrow's news.
Oh yeah. Yeah. In the next 2 days too, right? The CPI
Yeah.
is a big number on
Hmm.
Thursday, right? I think the
Wednesday.
tomorrow. Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you're right.
Wednesday.
Yeah, today's Monday.
Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I believe news is coming out every day. After tomorrow.
And I believe tomorrow they're like producer, it's like inflation, it's like the prices for producers, and then Wednesday is consumer prices.
Mhm.
So same, I guess same thing, inflation, whatever.
Yeah,
One thing I
just.
noticed, dollar was moving down. It's starting to, it's starting to get up a little bit of a bid, I guess, but it's the volatility index that was moving down along with the dollar. They were both moving up together, and the bonds were moving down as volatility was going up, like this, as this was moving up, the bonds were moving down. I'm noticing like you can see a bit of a shift there. These bonds are getting a little bit of a bounce while volatility in the dollar have been moving down. So if I were to be bullish on the dollar, I would also want to see the bonds go down in order for the dollar and the volatility like to go up maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some good things to be aware of, most definitely.
Let's see. I also looking at the highs of September. I really think
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
my that would be my biggest thing to look at. And I'll say like I'll just go on the pairs here, the currency pairs. Everybody is above, or the so I'll do September low. Everybody's above the September low, and the Japanese yen looks like it's the weakest. These European pairs are also slightly weak, and yeah, I would just if I were to be long the US dollar against something, it would be the Japanese yen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would really just want to see all of those realistically cross back
Yeah.
below those September lows and not cross back above there if they do cross below those September lows. And if they can retest those September lows, I feel like that would be the perfect entry to get in. And if that doesn't happen, then yeah, just continue to trade it the way that it's kind of going right now, right?
Yeah.
But
Because
yeah,
if even when you zoom out to the monthly, um, how does that even look? Maybe even the weekly. But there's lots of room for a lower high. This was such a significant pullback.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, we can bounce this much and it can still be very bearish.
yeah.
So there's
I
lots of
like
room for even like a
yeah.
small
There's
bounce.
a lot of room. So it'll be interesting tomorrow. Tomorrow will be real interesting, most definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen back, but
Yeah.
kind of just like the same thing. My gold position is kind of wicked. I don't know if you can see my
Oh,
screen.
nice. Wow. I
Yeah,
was,
so
yeah, when you said you're gonna stop, I was like, yep, that might stop out. But
let's see. Let's see if but yeah, literally just looking to see if I could take it to this next resistance level right here. But kind of like what you had for GBP USD. I don't know if this lines up with the September lows, but
let me see.
like so like and this is kind of like where I say like you can lose money, right? Because let's say I'm bullish on the dollar, right? Because I took a trade right here earlier, my stop loss was right below her, right? Looking for the swing, right? Potentially, but got stopped out. So realistically, this looks like a good setup to even take another trade, right?
Yeah,
Before
yeah,
before the news comes out tomorrow. And I feel like there's two ways you can play it, right? You can take the trade now and wait for the news to come out and see if you can ride it all the way. And like that's a great risk to reward ratio, right? But I feel like the smart thing to do, and I don't know if this lines up with your September lows, but would
yeah.
be
I think
like,
it's almost the same. Yeah,
yeah,
121. Yeah,
yes, to literally trade it below these breaks right here, right? That is like really the like the justifying thing on the table that like I feel like lets people know that yeah, this market is still bearish. But like, but with that comes, with missing, 152
yeah.
pips. And that's kind of like where my FOMO comes in right there. So it's like it's not bad trades in my opinion. Cause I honestly feel like taking another sell on this is not a bad idea. But just with how everything is looking at the moment, you know, probably just going to stay away, right? But it might take just another smaller entry. Might just let it play out because let's say this pulls back one more time and it kind of does like a double top and then rejects again. Like another potential entry. So just have to see how it's gonna be, but a lot of uncertainty in my opinion on things. But
One thing I like is this using smaller size can help too. Like
yeah,
you
for
can kind of
sure.
break it up. Yeah, because break it up into like whatever you were thinking of entering in one size, you can break it up into five different entries.
True, true.
And if it moves higher, it's like better for you because you can kind of get closer to
Mhm.
like you just get a better price basically.
Yeah,
And
and
yeah,
you could put you could have a higher lot. So
yeah,
if I did trade it right now with a small stop loss, I mean with a small lot, and it did push higher, I could potentially enter like one more time, risking a little bit more since it is higher. But the risk to reward gets a lot better. So yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm just gonna be watching, just gonna see how that plays out. But to me, the DXY looks a little bit bearish at the moment, but we haven't broke this level right here yet. So it's still pretty interesting. But we'll be on the lookout tomorrow, right? See how these numbers come out.
yeah. And one last thing I'll just say, technically, like with this environment, there is uncertainty. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't be like too, I wouldn't like, I would just say like it's okay to like not know because I have no idea sometimes. Like I'm a little bit
Yeah.
lost at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's being cautious is like the number one thing to do. And since we're inside right now, all of the pairs are inside of September. And usually when you go inside of a previous range, things tend to tighten up. Things do become a little bit choppier, a little bit uncertainty. So like before last week, it was almost certain that like the dollar's bullish, bonds are going
Yeah.
down,
It's
stocks are
right.
going
Yeah.
down, gold is going down. Everything was all one-sided. And now we kind of just got shifted back. So yeah,
Right. And it's like it's crazy to watch this like happen on a week to week basis, right?
yeah,
But yeah, man. Hey, man. Like life of a trader, man. Right. I'm looking at
absolutely.
this USD CAD real quick. Before we go, I had taken the trade from this break. It kind of pulled back, but seeming like it can't really get any higher. But you know, if that dollar continues to weaken and we just see this continue to fail, might look for another trade back to the support level. as well. So yeah, that's something else I'm paying attention to. But
Just
yeah,
stalling a little bit right now.
that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for me. So maybe we can get back on tomorrow. See how these numbers come out, man. Yeah, no, we'll just take it from there.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I'll be here.
And all right, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, Kailash, man. Appreciate you to everybody who's watching as well, who's commenting, liking, and subscribing. All right, Kailash, man. I'll see you tomorrow, man.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah. Thank you.
All
Yeah,
right,
take
all
care.
right. Yes, sir. You too.